Hi everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video and welcome back to my channel. If you enjoy all things fitness, then I would highly recommend that you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Louise. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some different things that I wish that I knew from the very beginning of my fitness journey, because I have been on this for quite a while now, probably about 4 years on and off. So when I first started out, I tended to go to the gym and just do cardio and running on like the treadmill, all that kind of stuff, and I would just jump from like machine to machine. Whereas now I have a set routine, I have a set workout split, and my main focus is weightlifting and increasing my weight. The first point that I'm gonna put across is that you should be lifting weights. I was gonna do a separate video and just talk about like the best way to lose weight, which is, in my opinion, lifting weights in general, because people go to the gym and they do cardio and it takes so long to burn calories from cardio, whereas even though you don't burn as much calories from doing weightlifting in the gym, the muscle that you do build actually burns more calories. Just keeping it there uses up more energy. So as a result, long term, you're going to find it a lot easier to lose weight from having more muscle on your body rather than going to the gym every single day to burn calories via running on the treadmill or, you know, going on the stair climber or something of that sort. Also, I know that a lot of women tend to think that lifting weights is going to make you look really masculine. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram, you can go and check my Instagram out. I'll put it up there for you. Pretty much, as you can see, like, I've been lifting weights now for just over a year and I don't see any sort of sign that I'm turning masculine. A lot of people tend to say that to me as well, like they'll say, oh, you know, don't get so big that you're gonna look like these crazy people. I think people tend to forget how much effort it actually takes to get to that point. Like, female bodybuilders literally have to train so much, it's unbelievable. Like, they'll probably be in the gym for like 5 hours on end every single day of the week. They'll have a set meal plan. They'll be with, you know, a coach that helps them pick what times they're supposed to eat, pick what supplements they're supposed to take. Like, it has to be so organized to be able to get to that point that you are in like a competition or something of that sort. But a lot of women think that as soon as they pick up some weights that they're going to just turn into this crazy human being that looks all masculine, when realistically, like, muscle building takes time and it's slow progress. Like, if everybody could gain muscle overnight, everybody would be doing it, trust me. Like, if that was possible, then there would be no reason for men to be taking steroids. There would be no reason for women to have to take testosterone injections to be able to build muscle. Personally, the way that I see it is, if I notice that my body is developing in a way that I don't like, it's muscle at the end of the day. Like, you can lose it and you can gain it. So if you want to slim it down a little bit, if it's getting a little bit too big for you, then all you have to do is stop training that part of your body and it will disappear over time. It only takes a few weeks for muscle to start to break down. But one thing I will say is that the more muscle mass you do have on your body, the more calories your body will burn at rest, and therefore you can eat more food. So to me personally, like, the positives outweigh the negatives. Like, I love the way that my body looks from weightlifting, and I also enjoy the fact that I can eat a lot more food than what I ever have done before from just doing like cardio. The next thing that I wish that I knew at the sort of beginning of my journey was how important rest is. Sleep, I'm talking all forms of rest that you can possibly think of, and that is because that is so much more important, or as important as your training routine. When you train, when you lift weights, your muscles do break down, and of course they have to rebuild in order to be able to go again. And if you're not obviously allowing your muscles to be able to do this, to rest and recover, then you're not going to be able to lift as heavy. You're going to start to find that you're going into the gym and you're lifting lighter weight than what you was the day before, because you're not resting in between. The way that I do it so that I can train as often as possible is I'll just alternate which part of my body I'm training, and that is usually the way that a lot of people tend to train. I have got a video on my training split, which is quite old now actually, and I think my training split's probably changed quite a bit since then, but that video is up there so you can kind of see how I alternate different body parts throughout the week so that I'm still getting like the optimum amount of training in, but also the body parts that I am training do have enough time to rest before I train them again. My third point is that you should be making sure that you're eating enough food. I remember when I first started out and I was just doing cardio, it was like sort of a goal to try and eat as little food as possible. And obviously this is not good because you're exercising more, your body needs more fuel. However, I thought it was a good thing to try and eat as little as I possibly could at the time. So obviously you fuck up your metabolism, it just all goes to shit basically. As opposed to my current mindset, which is I love to try and get loads of protein in my diet, and I love to make sure that I'm eating enough food so that I have a lot of energy when I'm training, and so that my body has enough fuel to be completing all the processes basically at an optimum level, for me to gain as much muscle as I possibly can from my training sessions. Because if you're not eating enough, then you're not going to be developing the muscle that you want to develop. Realistically, we need to be viewing food as a fuel source more than anything. Obviously it's there for us to enjoy, and we should be enjoying it, because if you do want to stay on a diet long term, you need to be enjoying what you're eating. Like, for example, today so far I've had stir fry, and then tonight I'm gonna have burgers, and it's just like about finding ways to cut little corners. Like, for example, with the burgers, a lot of people would buy burgers pre-made, you know, they're already shaped and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just meat, it's whatever is in there, just the meat on its own. But to make burgers like that, people tend to put in flour, eggs, all that kind of stuff, so it does add up extra calories on top. Whereas if you just buy the lean minced beef on its own and then form the burgers yourself, you can know what's going inside that. Like, you can literally calculate every single little macro to a T, because you've made those yourself. So that also leads me on to another point, and that is that you don't have to straight away eat healthy as soon as you start to, you know, go on a sort of fitness journey, as you'll call it. Like, I just started going to the gym with my friend. As of recently, she's joined me in the gym, and straight away she was like, I don't know what to eat anymore. Like, I don't know what to have for my dinner. And it shouldn't be like that. Like, it shouldn't automatically come as an association that you need to change the way you're eating straight away. If anything, it's better to make small changes when you first start, and just kind of cut out this and maybe reduce this a little bit, rather than going completely cold turkey and saying, right, I need to eat salad all the time now. That's the first point that's going to make you fail every single time, is if you change the way that you're eating so drastically to the point where you're like, oh my God, I don't even know what to eat anymore. Like, that's just putting extra stress on yourself, because losing weight is already a stressful process. You do not need to be like on it eating salad all day long. You can eat normal food, and it's probably best that you stick to your normal diet, because just adding in the exercise itself is a positive change, and that in itself will help you to lose some of the weight. As soon as you hit a drop where like you can't lose any more weight from doing that, that's the time where you should start adjusting your diet to help you lose weight. But from like the beginning, from the get-go, you don't need to be thinking about what you're eating. You just need to be adding in the training, and that will be enough. My next point is that form is so much more important than what weight you are lifting. So I see a lot of people trying to obviously lift tons of weight as soon as they walk into the gym. My little brother did the exact same thing. He was like,
I'm gonna see how much weight I can lift.
This was like day one of him being in the gym, never stepped foot in a gym before. And he was like, I'm gonna lift 100 kg on the leg press. You can't do that, like, you're gonna hurt yourself. And he did it in the end, but like, that's not the way to go about lifting, is what I'm saying. I think this is more of a bigger thing for guys in a way, because obviously they go into a gym for the first time. There's already so many other men in there that can lift heavy and have probably been there for years, like lifting, and they've progressed to a point where now they lift tons of weight, and that can be quite intimidating for a new man to be walking into the gym to. So you have to just remember that at the end of the day, it's not about how much weight you're lifting, it's about your form, because form can be so easily sacrificed when you lift heavier. Like, sometimes I'll do a deadlift or I'll do a squat and I'll have increased the weight to a weight that I've never done before, and straight away you get the spine curve, or straight away you get that butt wink. If you don't know what that is, just Google it, trust me. I didn't know what it was, and I was like, oh, I do that. It's really important to sort of take a step back and think, actually, I had perfect form here, and I was getting full stimulus from the actual exercise that I was doing until I added the extra weight. And then as soon as I added the extra weight, I couldn't do the form properly anymore. So that's your first indicator that you need to take that weight back off, or at least reduce the amount of weight that you're adding on. Your best bet is to just take the weight back off, go back to the weight that you was using before, and just make sure that your form is perfect, because that is so much more important than trying to lift like 100 kilograms on your first time squatting. It's just not going to happen, and you're going to end up hurting yourself, and you're not going to get any gains from it, let's be real, because you're only going to crack out like maybe 1-2 reps. This leads me on to my next point as well, which is to not compare yourself to other people, because it's so easy to just look at somebody and think, oh my God, like, I want to be like that. And then it's also something that tends to make people really unmotivated because they think, oh, I've been working so hard and no, and I don't have, you know, biceps like that, I can't lift that heavy, blah blah blah. And this is one of the main things that you have to really remember, because some people have been training for years. Some people have been training for years and years and years and years, and just looking at them, you're not going to be able to tell how long they've been training for. So to look at somebody and think, oh, I should look like that, and you know, you've only been training for maybe 3 months or something like that is not going to happen. But a lot of the time, most people have been training for quite a while in the gym, so you have to just remember that, you know, you're not going to look like that until you've been training for however many years. Or maybe you will look like that, and maybe you'll look like that 2 years into your journey and they're 10 years in. Everybody's different, so you have to just remember that, like, at the end of the day, everyone's body responds differently. Everyone is always going to be genetically different, and also the likelihood is the people that you're comparing yourself to have put in that work. So you just have to remember, like, as soon as you start to put in the hours, as soon as you start to put in the effort and the consistency, and you stay motivated and you eat properly and you rest properly, that is when you're going to get to a similar point to everybody else, or to whoever it is that you're idolizing. So my last point then is to stay consistent, and that is because you're not going to see results overnight, and I think everybody will obviously tell you this. It's probably one of the most obvious points you'll ever come across, but I still hear, like I said before, I've just started going to the gym with one of my friends, and she said to me, she'd only been going for like 3 weeks, maybe a month before lockdown, and she was like, oh, I just don't understand why I'm not seeing any results. And it's like, you're not going to see results overnight, and yet she'd actually progressed from like a 40-kilogram hip thrust to like 60. So that in itself is a change, and that's a drastic change as well in just the space of a month. That's like 5 kg increase per week. And she was like so demotivated. She was like, I just don't understand why I'm not seeing any difference, and blah blah blah. But yet every single other day she was eating McDonald's. And it's like, just because you go into the gym 3 times a week does not mean that you can now start adding in 10,000 calories extra on top of your weekly intake. Like, that's not how it works. You have to find balance. I think as well, because it had been a month, she thought that it had felt way longer than that, and she just started to get really demotivated. She was like, oh, can't be bothered with this, it's not working. Like, personally, I could see a difference, and I think it's just because when you're with yourself every single day, you see yourself all the time, you are your own worst critic, and you can look at yourself and think, no difference, I don't see any difference. But realistically, if we would have taken measurements or we would have weighed her, I reckon she probably would have seen a massive difference by then. Obviously we went back into another lockdown after that, so that just all went out the window, but that's irrelevant. My point that I'm making is that, you know, it's not even going to happen in a month. You'll see small changes, you really will, but it's not going to be anything drastic, and if anything, you probably won't notice it yourself. It'll be other people that notice it first. If you really do start to, you know, figure out like a training split that works for you, and you do make your workouts a lot of fun, that's going to make you more likely to stick to it than not, because it's something that you're going to enjoy at the end of the day. I stay so motivated and so consistent because I go in and I enjoy what I'm doing. If I was to hate what I was doing, like I did when I first started out, which was just cardio all the time, I just ended up going for like a month and then I'd quit after that because I didn't like what I was doing. Whereas now, because I genuinely go in and I look forward to what I'm about to do, and I love it the whole way through, and then I love it even after I've done it, like, that's the reason why I keep going back. So I'm not necessarily preaching to you like, yeah, you need to go to the gym, yeah, you need to lift weights, blah blah blah. I'm just saying that is what works for me, and you know, if you are going to the gym, if you are lifting weights, then these tips will definitely work for you. But it's just one of them things, like, you have to find something that you enjoy personally. You have to find a form of exercise that is fun to you. It could be anything, like dancing, it could be swimming, it could be tennis, it could be hockey, it could be football, it could be literally anything that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be going to the gym. That's just the thing that I have found that works for me, that I truly enjoy doing. That is the one thing that will keep you consistent and keep you motivated. That is it for today's video, guys. If these tips have helped you out, then please don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will again leave my Instagram up there for you, so you can go and check out my Instagram page and follow me on there too. I do reply to all messages, so if you have any questions, then just DM me on there. and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you all had an amazing Christmas and I hope you have a great new year, and I'll see you guys in the next YouTube video. Bye!